Hi there and welcome. I'm Gary Wise and I've been working with accounting practice software for over 20 years now. I head up the GovReports go-to-market team, so sales, marketing and alliances. And I'm really pleased to be able to introduce you today to our latest cloud release. It is specifically for tax agents. So when I first explored joining GovReports, I was really surprised to learn that we were the first to launch a cloud tax application. And that for me exemplifies the biggest challenge I have right now. We are like the best kept secret in the industry. So for those of you that aren't familiar with our brand, GovReports developed the first ATO approved cloud SBR solution back in 2010 already. So since then, our applications have always been cloud only. There are absolutely no Windows-based server technology components over there. It is all browser-based. And that means for you, better value and way less costly IT maintenance and time spent on it. Now, the essence of cloud software for you really is that there's no hosting fees. All the updates are done by us. Similarly with data backups, those we do and have mirrored databases. And of course, we are required to ensure the highest levels of international security standards to be authenticated by the ATO as well. So with all of that in mind, I'd also like to stress that we are absolutely dedicated to ensuring our users enjoy working with GovReports. So, that commitment is a cornerstone of the way we work. We want to make it super easy to use, absolutely, give you the confidence in terms of reliability. There's always free and very responsive telephone support. And if we say we're going to deliver something, an update or a new product, we actually do it on time. Now, having been in the market out there in the accounting practice and BAS agent market for over 10 years now, we now have over 4,000 BAS and tax agent subscribers that use our suite. Now, when I talk about a suite, it's effectively an integrated suite of compliance, being client accounting, tax preparation and lodgement, practice management, and we also have e-signature apps without any sort of restriction and no additional costs related to digital sign-off. But with all of that in mind, with all those users, it's probably pretty unlikely that you're aware that Australia's largest accounting firms recommend GovReports for use in corporates. So we work very closely with businesses like a who's who, Philips, Spotlight, Domino's, Westpac, BHP, and others. They all have capability to pre-fill activity statements and then do their reconciliations and lodge, even bulk lodge returns for multiple branches. In the case of Domino's, they have 500 branches and need to effectively do all those recons and lodgements. So we also offer developers APIs. Now, APIs being program interfaces so that they can incorporate capability into their own cloud applications. So, just for example, applications, that larger businesses use like NetSuite or Dynamics, they don't have a capability to lodge reports. So you can actually embed GovReports APIs to directly lodge reports so that, those corporate tax people don't have to manually enter data into the ATO portal. Those same APIs are actually used in quite a number of sort of innovative accounting firms that focus on iReturns. So if, for example, you had an online tax form, you could grab that data and put it into GovReports for the tax preparation and lodgement side. You can add APIs as well to, pre-fill a tax form for a client before it goes across to the tax prep software as well. So with all of that, let's just turn to our latest app, which is ATO Insights. So I just want to clarify specifically that the version that I'm going to show you has been developed for tax agents. We are, however, working with BAS agents to identify and then include relevant functionality that will also streamline their ATO compliance workflows. So the version that's available right now has been designed to slash the waste of time many are experiencing when logging into tax agent portal multiple times per day. And it will make it much easier to manage your tax deadlines, no matter how large your team is. So how does it do that? ATO Insights effectively connects directly to your practice's portal account. So we're going directly, and in that way bypasses your current tax software. All right, and that then gives you key tax compliance information in one easy to read dashboard. And you won't need to run reports to surface lodgements and client account information, for example. It's all in real time. Now I'm going to switch across to the app itself. Just bear with me one tick, and let's go to there. That now is ATO Insights. Now, if you do have any questions during this next section of my presentation, please just enter them into that question area in the GoToWebinar panel. If we don't get enough time to answer all those questions, we'll certainly email you answers afterwards. So what are you looking at right now? Firstly, I'd like to emphasize that I'm running this using Microsoft Edge. Now, we aren't limited to any particular browser. You can select the browser that suits you best. The only thing that is important is to ensure that you've got the latest updates to whatever browser. So if it's Safari, if you want to use Firefox, Google Chrome, whatever floats your boat, it's all the same thing. And that's pretty much the essence of cloud software. You don't need a hosted server. So on screen right now, you can see GovReports ATO Insights. Just please understand, mine is a pre-production version, so it is a little bit slower than the actual version you would use, because some testers and programmers are using it as we speak. Now, before we actually get to the screen in practice, what would happen in the background? You would do a client update via this application to bring in your clients. All right, so that's very important. We've got the client update capability live within the software, and that in turn means that we're going to bring your current client list into the application. Thereafter, it is completely independent. It's still from the get-go actually completely independent of your current tax prep and lodgement software, presuming it's not GovReports itself. So having said that, we bring in your client list, and then what happens is you've got all of this information that's visible on the screen right now. I'll just switch that off to get the full screen. So going along the top over there, you can see we're in the income tax area at the moment. We do have similar capability to track your lodgement progress for FBT returns, and we are looking at releasing that capability for activity statements, just pending the updates required from the ATO itself. All right, so on the right-hand side, you've got a refresh button, and that effectively is something that's important to stress over here. This application is going directly to the ATO portal live. You can refresh and get current information in real time. Other than some areas which the ATO itself only issues weekly, and that draws me then to focus on the tax lodgement stats. So these stats are only updated weekly. Having said that, it will progressively move as you complete those returns. At the moment, we're reflecting in this dummy database, we've got 87%, so over the 85% threshold. and that's calculated by looking at what's on time divided by the total due lodgements. Now, if we add the on time plus the late, that'll give you the lodged, but what we've got for the 85% then is on time is important. So beneath that, you can also get a bit of a comparison, so you can see, this year versus the prior periods. And if you choose, you can take a look at that graphically. So that gives you some sense of a trend then, with the various years. Now, the logical question in terms of the workflow then, if you are looking at, you're kind of behind, you've got overdue forms, which are they? You can effectively just click that shortcut at the top over there, and that then will produce your lodgement list. So without having to go into the ATO portal, I can see all of the relevant forms. I can sort it by form, sort it by client, period, etc. And that really then surfaces that very important information about what's upcoming and outstanding. All right, going back here to my ATO insights. So refreshing then. If I click the FBT tab, FBT returns are treated independently of the other income tax returns. So at this point, I'm tracking at 77%. So the same sort of concept over there. I've got 203 out of my 263. I could click the lodgement list. It's the same lodgement list, obviously. You just filter it for FBT returns. So going back to this area over here, it does prompt me to look at the widget in this bottom half of the screen. So here we've got the ATO client communications. Now, as you'd all be aware, the ATO can and often does send information directly to your clients if they've subscribed to receive ATO communications directly, in which case many of those communications you might not be aware of. So here is a great example of where we are able to extend the capability of your current tax preparation lodgement software, in that we can now reveal all those client communications. So this is going to, display the most recent ones in this particular dashboard. And having said that, I can click to drill down effectively and take a look at the whole report and get access then to any of these communications, whether they were sent by, snail mail, if they emailed, if they were SMSs, and notices of assessment as well. In terms of those NOAs, just please understand, we can't actually input data into the system because it is feeding live off the tax agent portal. So, I can only reflect information that we've got access to in this dummy database, which doesn't allow me to do what you'd probably like to do. I can very easily just view a document. So this could be an NOA. I could download it, I can print it, and I can email it. So it would be the same concept for an NOA, and you could email it directly to your client from the application as well. All right, so in the same line as this capability, I can also click on My Clients. Remember, we've now synchronized your client list, and what I can't really give you a widget for as such is an ATO account because it's specific to a client. So for example, if I did go to Field International, I would be able to get access to their account in this view over here. Now, just to be aware, you'll have the client overview, but you won't have validation, lodged access permissions and things and jobs, which are part of the core, GovReports capability. So when you implement, if you're not a GovReports user, some of these elements on that menu won't be there at all because you're just focused on surfacing ATO portal information as opposed to entering returns and lodging them. All right, but having said that then, I've got the account list over here, and I can just drill down into the income tax account and effectively get a GL of all transactions then for that particular client. So that all becomes surfaced without you having to go in manually. All right, so just heading back into the application, there is another widget to the right at the bottom over there, and that would be the EFT reconciliation. So for those of you that are deducting fees from refund, getting the the amounts due to the client directed to your own trust bank account, this really makes life very easy in terms of being able to reconcile those accounts. So quite simply, I'd be able to go in over there and take a look at the list of EFT recons that are available, and from there I can download them into an Excel spreadsheet and do my rec if that's what I want to use to do that. So I could open that in Excel and I'd get all the transactions. And you'd be able to open from your own view. So I'm not getting those pop-ups at the moment.
Yes, you do. Click on the download, the arrow down on the top right. Yep, and then open.
There,
yep.
sorry. Yeah. I thought my pop-ups weren't working in the webinar. So yeah, all of those are now clearly visible. All right, so just going back over there, back to ATO Insights. All right, so I've now taken you through the core capability of what we're surfacing right now. We have the widgets over there for tracking your ATO stats towards your 85% threshold. You're able to break that down into particular return types. You can further take a look at things that have been lodged late but have been deferred, those that are not lodged but still overdue, etc. And you're able to drill down into your lodgement list, and you're also able to surface client communications and your EFT rec as well as the client's account. So quite simply, you are hugely extending the capability that you currently have in your tax preparation and lodgement software with this really easy to use add-on. So that takes me out of the live system itself, and we'll come back to questions. I see I have got one of them that is there. I just want to emphasize a couple of points over here, key takeaways for you. You can see that it's really easy for you to keep your finger on the pulse of lodgement program. And, by surfacing this information, you don't need to access the ATO portal numerous times today. We also connect directly to the ATO portal using your firm's credentials, and that means there's absolutely no data migration, and as you can see, pretty much no training is necessary for you to start improving those workflows and saving time. You can literally be up and running within minutes, doing that client update initially. Depending on the number of clients that we've got to import into the database, it should, we do like 1,000 in a minute or two. So the other thing is, from our perspective, to extend the capability of your current software and to begin saving time, we're asking for less than $50 per month. I mean, that is incredible value. In terms of the next step, what I'd encourage you to do, please, is to subscribe for a trial version. You can hop onto our website, so govreports.com.au, and you'll get access to a free trial for 30 days. To take advantage of price reduction, I can give you a 20% off voucher. I mean, the fees are so low anyway. But if you jump on to that QR code, there's a web form over there, and I'll email you back a voucher. That voucher will activate the discount when you go into the payment page. When you're ready to subscribe, there's a promo code area. Following this website, this webinar rather, I will send you an email with links to that product fact sheet and the form to get that voucher. Okay, so what questions have we got over there at the moment? I've got a question in relation to integration with FYI docs. That is something that we're working on at the moment. So yeah, I am speaking to Rob Cameron and we will get that sorted. But in the meantime, it would be necessary for you to download, like you saw me download the EFT Recon. You can drag and drop, or there's an extra couple of clicks over there perhaps to get that into a client folder, the NOA. Once again, if you've got any questions,
there's a few questions there. Sorry, Gary. So question from Mark. Yeah. How often do you need to link with the ATO, or is it just initially, just once?
Okay. All right. So yeah, pretty straightforward. That's just that one off.
It's just initially, and then everything else is automatic sync from GovReports. Correct.
So yeah, it's like setting up any application for the first time with the ATO. It's just that initial connection to the ATO portal using your current credentials, and then as I said, you'd need to do the client update. Just incidentally, I'm not really certain, but I've been told that some of those tax applications, even cloud ones, don't allow you to do the client update. You've got to effectively create a new client on the ATO portal. So when it comes to individuals, absolutely you can, use ATO Insights to add a new client automatically without going to that ATO portal to introduce them. But of course, with the new client's ID requirement for non-individuals, you'd need those clients to confirm that they have connected with you already.
Okay, sorry guys, there's two more questions from Mark. In the future, will you add TPAR and BAS tab like income tax and FBT? Yes.
So FBT is there.
FBT is there, BAS will be TPAR. TPAR, we don't have, I don't think the ATO has data as to that we can collect as what has been lodged to the ATO, but BAS you will be able to collect the data from GovReports, and that's
so
coming.
Perhaps the question is if you're running zero, for example, or handy tax, and you can't do a TPAR, we do have a version of GovReports that you can subscribe for. So not ATO Insights, but GovReports itself, that will extend the capability of your current software again, giving you that TPAR form. And that version, which we call Extend, effectively you only pay per lodgement. So if you've got a handful of lodgements, it's going to cost you, an insignificant amount to process those TPAR returns. So, you've got a user interface and a form that you can actually complete. ATO Insights is initially described as connecting to the ATO portal to surface information. You can't actually generate a return as such.
You can't generate. Gary, if you still log into your demo account, can you go to the activity statement summary? This feature will be available in the ATO Insights. I'm not too sure soon. Will be available. If you go log into back to your testing account, because you're not showing. It's not showing on the screen. Sorry. Okay, go to activity statement summary. Activity statement, go to my lodge, and select any of, I'm not too sure. Oh, you got us. So once you, I think answering, we will have a BAS tab, and it will show us the report similar to this. So you need to select the client and then the financial year, and it will list out all the figures that BAS figures that has been lodged by the client or you or the BAS agents or the tax agents for this particular client. The summary of all the lodgement of the activity statement lodged to the ATO or collected.
So just to be quite specific, this is not currently available in ATO Insights. This is a GovReports feature at the moment. It's on our roadmap.
Okay, TPAR, we don't have figures from the ATO, but hopefully in the future when the ATO has information that we can collect, definitely it will be similar to the activity statements. Another questions, I'm guessing if we can see it on the portal, you can see it on the GovReports. Pretty much, yes.
But I'm quite happy if you guys, anyone on the webinar has any questions, please shoot them across to that email address. You can send them to info@govreports or directly to me, gary@govreports.com.au, and I'm quite happy to give you a deep dive personal session and answer any questions then. All right, but yeah, if there aren't any more questions, I'll wrap up this webinar. And again, really appreciate you taking the time to go through this, valuable add-on from our perspective, and hope you found it really insightful. Please, again, reach out if you have any questions or feedback. If you've got any functionality sort of suggestions, we'd really appreciate to hear them. And once again, thank you. We really appreciate you attending today.
Thanks, everyone.